Okay, I've got all the pieces made up for the upgrade of my Fisher and Paykal wind turbine, and here's the interior of it. This is the actual generation section. This is the magnets going around the stator here, and in the future I'm going to try and put two back to back. So I'm going to put another magnetic stator here going out the back end as well, and I'll see if I can drive both of them from this wind turbine here. And anyway, this is the bottom of the washing machine, internal bottom. I've just trimmed that back, and I put made a bracket here out of an old pipe, an old stainless steel pipe, reinforced it down the bottom, and as you can see there's a hole for a bolt to go down into, and that's there. I'll also will bolt onto a frame that I've just made, and let's go over and see that now. Okay, this is the one that this is going to get bolted to. Now there's going to be a bolt go up through that hole from over there, and it's going to go up through this hole here, and yeah, the turbine's going to sit up on here like so. And then this whole structure here with this is going to have a couple of bearings on it, and it's going to slide down into this tube, and these bolts here are for the bearings to sit on. So you're going to have one bearing sitting on these bolts and the other bearing sitting on the top bolts, and then the very top bolts will be just screwed in. They've got little tapers on the end of it just to keep the magnets in there and keep the whole thing inside this tube. And this little bolt here is going to be extra long, and there's going to be another bolt bolted up through this little nut here, and it's going to come down, and as that rotates it's going to hit on this bolt, so it's not going to give it a full 360 rotation. Otherwise it's just going to spin around in the wind and slowly screw off the wires. Now I've been on YouTube and I can see a little piece, contraption they've got for sale in there. It's got a couple of bushes on it where you can actually rotate things 360 degrees, but you've got to have a hole drilled down through the bar down here, and I basically built this before I could incorporate that system. I might be able to do it a little bit later on by just making a little slit down the side here and putting the wires down through here. But anyway, that's where the turbine's going to sit on here. The bearing's going to sit on here, and they're going to put into this tube here, the bearing holder, and that's going to be bolted onto the top of the pole. Okay, so this is where the tail section is going to go, and again there's going to be a bolt go up through here, and there's going to be two bearings sitting on top of that, and this long tube here is the tail, and as you can see it's got a tube up the top there, and that's going to have bearings that's going to be sitting on the bearings. Actually it's still got a bearing inside there, as you can see. Now this little piece on the side, that's going to go, that's actually going to stick out the end like so, and I've got another little bracket here, and it's going to bolt on so. Okay, so now there's going to be a gap for enough for a bolt or something to go from the top to the bottom. It might look a little bit complicated or pretty hard to describe really at the moment, but eventually there'll be a spring, and that'll go up like so, and that'll allow it to do furling, and that'll allow the blades to get pushed sideways into the wind if the wind gets too strong. It both protects the turbine, the blades, and it also stops it from overpowering, so it doesn't produce too much power and burn the turbine out. Okay, so now these are the tail fins, and they go on the back of this tail here, and I'll just show you. These little brackets here, they go on like so, and there's another one on the other side. They clamp together, and then the tails are basically bolted onto these little holes here, so it just nicely clamps on here and stops it from scratching paint and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to make little pads that go in between here too, so it protects the paint. Okay, so that's the tail section, and the turbine section, and now I'll go over to the actual blades themselves. These are the blades that I've upgraded. Originally I just had the longer blade on there, which is this one here, and that did pretty well. That actually started to really power this thing along. It was producing up to 50 volts and 2.5 amps. I think it got even up a little bit more when the wind got really strong. And so now what I'm doing is I'm upgrading it and I'm lengthening the blades. So I think I'm making another couple of little videos as I made this thing, so I might give you a bit of an idea. And so I've made an extension to these, so I've added a smaller blade length to it. So originally these were about 600mm long, and now they're over 900mm long. So they've got a really fairly good extension on them. And these ones here, these little brackets here, they're just the ceiling fan normal brackets. I bent them up at a certain angle, and then I put a brace on them, and so now they bolt onto the middle section. And the middle section consists of this piece here, which is actually the interior section of the washing machine. This had another round piece that went around the outside of that too, and it was just held together by little braces on here. So I cut the braces off, evened it out around here, and it made a perfect substrate to put the blades on. And as you can see, I've attached the brackets to it like so. I've put these little, made up these little braces here that go inside, as you can go inside here, as you can see, and then they just get bolted all together, as you can see there. And on the outside I have made another little section. This is out of another ceiling fan. I just cut a piece. Actually that's the other sections of the ceiling fan. So I've just cut another piece out there, put it on the outside. As you can, might be able to see it on the outside there, like so. And then these bolt through. So as you can see, the plastic's pretty flimsy, but once you put the bracing on, it's really quite rigid and strong. So it's really good. It's good. That's not going to go either. That's pretty strong. Although with the extra blades on it, they do create quite a bit of a stress on these points here. So I thought that I would be able to get away with these two bolts here, and I can really. But I just think that I might put another bolt through here, and it's just going to make it's going to be awkward. I'm going to put another bolt through there, and then that will make it a lot stronger. Give it a lot more resistance to the leverage of the extended blades. So that's pretty much how I've got up to at the moment. It's a bit of a mongrel getting these things on, especially the little bolt up inside there. That can be a bit of a pain, but I'm slowly getting there. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the time being. These little brackets here, they go on the bottom of those blades there, and that's the actual piece that gets put on there. Okay, and this is just the face that gets put onto there like so, and then that gets fed onto that shaft, and then this goes on the end of the shaft and basically seals that onto the shaft there. Now the only thing is, when this thing here goes onto the shaft, there's nothing really to hold it, so it just spins around on the shaft. So what I've done is I've drilled a couple of holes like so, and I put bolts in there, and then you might see that there's a couple of grooves there. That's where the bolts sit in there, so that makes it nice and solid on the shaft, and rotates the shaft as it goes round. Okay, and this is the casing that just goes over the back to protect the unit. And this is just an old 20 litre drum. It wasn't quite round enough, so I actually cut it and put a little bit more in there. and that makes it nice and round for it. Okay, and these are the little packings between the blades that I've put. You might just be able to see it in between there. Okay, so that's there just to stop the paint from being scratched and everything. Same with these ones here to go onto these brackets. And these are the little bolts that go over into the bearing shaft. And I was talking about the tapered ones. Okay, so you got little tapered ones like so. These are not stainless, so I'm replacing these at the moment. These ones here are. That's what I'm going to make. I'm going to taper the ends off these ones here to do the job. And that's your bolt that goes down to stop the 360-degree rotation. Okay, so that's all. That's pretty much it for the time being. The next video I will make is when I've got this thing actually put together, and it'll be relatively put together, but it'll be all lying on the ground for me to put it up on top of the pole, because this thing weighs a fair bit. Once you get it all together, there's a fair bit of weight there, so you've got to put it up in pieces. First of all, I'll put this section here up on top of the pole, and then I'll lift the motor up on top of it and bolt it on, and then after that I'll lift the rotor up on top of this here and bolt that on too. Okay, so that's about it for the time being, and I'll probably see you in the next video. Okay, thanks for watching.